It's true. Bamboo bedding is dreamy to sleep on. That's why Chintz aptly named their Bamboo Dream Quilt Set. Coming in 12 colors, you're absolutely going to love this quilt and 2 shams set. Starting at the softest of pinks and going all the way to a dark navy. It's going to be perfect for anyone's room. Your own, your guest rooms, your kids' rooms, maybe even back to the dorm bedding. Chintz has everything you need to elevate your space, from bedding to soft organic towels, airy curtains, and premium kitchen tools designed for everyday use. And of course, as you know, Chintz has gorgeous cashmere and other wardrobe essentials. And the best part, Chintz's products are half the cost of similar brands. They partner with top artisans and cut out the cost of the middleman, passing the savings on to us. Thank you, Chintz. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, so you can feel good about your purchases from Chintz. Elevate your space with home essentials from Chintz. Go to quince.com/DTT for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Chintz, QUINCE.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. Hey everybody, it's Kelly Wilkness here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks Plus. It's where you get more of us. So we're here with another bonus episode, and today it's all about chintz. And it's not chintzy, it's chintz.
Oh, well, we'll be talking about chintzy later in the episode.
Oh, okay.
So I thought we'd start with, what is chintz?
Good place.
Okay, so it's a cotton textile that came from India in the 16th century, and it features colorful wood block printed, painted, glazed, or stained designs. And it originally started on pale or plain cotton backgrounds, but now, the backgrounds in chintz can be any color. They use them often to make palampores, which was a type of cotton bed covering for a canopy bed. So usually they're botanical. And these were printed in India and introduced to the West by Dutch and Portuguese traders. So usually there is a polished sheen, but they don't have to have that. So it's great for a drapery and upholstery, and it does have this smooth glazed finish typically. So, the designs are usually very cheerful and colorful. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Lots and lots of florals, lush florals. So if you love really vibrant cabbage rose or lush peony, you're probably going to love chintz.
Yes. So they're usually multicolorful prints. And the term chintz refers to this complex colored pattern printed on this treated cotton. They were usually made by hand, and there were 2 techniques that they used, either wooden blocks like stamps that they used, or there was a 23-step dyeing process called kalamkari that they used. There's lots of ways to make it. And the word chintz is based on the Hindi word chint, which means speckled, variegated, spotted, or sprayed.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know how chintzy, which is a pejorative word, came into being. It might not have anything to do with chintz, because there's no way chintz is chintzy in my book anyway.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, because
we're still going to get to it. Okay.
Well, right, because I haven't gotten to we haven't gotten to that part yet, and then I will lead into the word chintzy, which does have to do with chintz, oddly enough.
Oh, okay. So keep going then.
So Mario Buddha used chintz as a signature element of his designs, and he even had a suit made of chintz, apparently, that he wore to parties, and he was called the Prince of Chintz. So very famous, but other designers that are famous for using chintz are Rose Cumming, John Fowler, Nancy Lancaster, and of course, Sister Parrish.
Well, I'm going to follow up on that. So keep going.
Yes. And the industry of importing these Indian cottons to Europe around the 1600s happened a lot with the British East India Company. I'm sure you're familiar with the company.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was one of their major exports. So, this was really coming into fashion. It became very popular in Europe. And actually, at one point, it was banned. Before we get to the chintzy, I have to talk to you about it being banned. So did you know that chintz at one point was banned in England and France?
I did not know that.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's a very, very sordid history here. So, it was very popular, with Europeans in the mid-1600s. And as I said earlier, this East India Company continued to import it. It grew more and more in popularity in the 17th and 18th century. And at some point, it was so popular that the local fabric makers were very concerned about their business, because now what were Europeans making locally? They were making fabrics from linen and wool, basically. Mm-hmm. So they really didn't have the cotton to work with. And chintz was this, it used cotton fabric. So they couldn't even come up with the cotton to make cotton fabric, which is the basis for chintz.
Oh, wow.
So, see, they became very terrified that their business was going to completely go away. I'm sure they lost a lot of business because this was so popular. And so they clamored for a ban to chintz being imported. So from 1686 to 1759 in France, citizens were banned from producing, importing, or even wearing chintz. Can you imagine?
Wow. Okay. So trying to save the home industry. Interesting.
Right. And then the Parliament of Great Britain also outlawed the use and wearing of chintz. And I mean, the very notion that you can't even wear it, I cannot believe that they dictated that. But they dictated that you cannot wear it or use it in household upholstery from 1700 to 1774. So the irony was, of course, this did not really apply to the very, very rich, as you might guess. There were lots of loopholes, and in fact, the ladies at Versailles continued to wear their chintz, even though this law was in place. They did not feel that it applied to them, and they probably saw it for the silliness that we feel like it is.
Well, and it probably was more exciting to don a chintz gown because it's sort of prohibition-y. It's fun.
Exactly. So at some point, with the Industrial Revolution, France and England began producing their own chintz fabrics. But they really didn't quite get it right, and they were doing it very cheaply. The tradespeople in India had been perfecting this technique for hundreds of years. So they were a master of making these beautiful chintzes. Mm-hmm. And the techniques used in England and France were inferior, let's just say. They were inferior, and they just did not produce a quality product at the time. They really didn't know how to do it properly. They were trying to not do it manually like they did in India, and so it just came up with kind of a crappy product. And in referring to the crappy chintz, that was referred to as chintzy. So we think of it as meaning somebody cheap or a product that was cheaply made. And that's what they were using it for, but they were using it to refer to these cheap chintzes. And so they started saying, well, that's chintzy, and that's what it meant. And in fact, we can go back to a letter that George Eliot wrote to her sister, and yes, George Eliot is a woman, in 1851.
Marianne Evans.
Yes, okay.
The author of Middlemarch.
Well, George Eliot is, you're saying.
Well, they're the same person.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying her sister's name was that. Oh, let's just cut this part out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So George Eliot, who was really?
Marianne Evans.
Thank you. So she wrote a letter to her sister in 1851 using the term chintzy. So it was being used then. We're not saying she invented it, but it is documented that she used the term then. So isn't that interesting? So, chintz has kind of gone out of favor, come back in, and now it's really a very key part of cottagecore and grand millennial style. So, it's too beautiful to keep it down forever. And do you remember not that long ago, IKEA had I guess it was in the 90s, that was a long time ago. But do you remember they had a Chuck the Chintz kind of thing they were doing to kind of get people to think more along the lines of their materials, which were much more streamlined and simple.
Oh, no, I don't remember that campaign.
Mm-hmm. So now it's coming back. And I think after people are tired of the neutrals and the grays, and I think the Chintzes are coming back, and they're just beautiful and fun. And I think they're so wonderful and really definitely a part of English country style. So if you like that style, you've got to love Chintz.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. So have you tried Dupe yet? If you haven't, come on, dupe.com. It is going to be your new shopping best friend. And it's not just for furniture. I know I've shared with you about my coffee table dupe, but you can save money with Dupe on fashion, shoes, jewelry, and more. I just used Dupe to find an absolute perfect twin of this t-shirt that I wanted. It was an $80 t-shirt. I was not going to pay $80 for a t-shirt. Dupe helped me find the twin, like maybe the exact same shirt. Find something you love, and then you can find replicas, twins, and maybe the exact thing for so much less. Give Dupe a try today. It is really so easy to use. You just type dupe.com / before any product URL in your browser, and voila! It instantly finds you less expensive alternatives. They even have an app and a browser extension you can download. No account is required. No sign up is required. It is completely free. I know, can you believe it? But it is completely free to use. Stop wasting money on brand names and start saving with dupe.com today. I love Chintz. I love most Chintzes. I don't think I've seen a Chintz that I really didn't like at some point, but I absolutely am obsessed with pine hollyhock, and that's got a really interesting history as well. My favorite color wave is the charcoal, but I also like the yellow ochre, sort of muddy yellow color wave as well. Comes in a few different ones. Schumacher produces it now. They started producing it in 2010, but it's got a very interesting history. It was used by Albert Hadley of Parish Hadley, the legendary design firm, for Nancy Pine, who was a socialite, a tastemaker, and they got together, and she absolutely fell for pine hollyhock. Well, she fell for that pattern, which Albert Hadley had sourced from the UK, and then it became called pine for Nancy's last name, pine hollyhock, as the years went by. And when Schumacher reintroduced it, or introduced it, I should say, to the broader market in 2010. So it's available to you. It's in my living room. I love it. You can get those big giant samples from the fabric store, Decorator's Best, and check it out for yourself. So gorgeous. And the history of Nancy and Albert's collaboration on her house in New Jersey is interesting in and of itself. So I am going to link an article all about it in the show notes. And as the years progressed and she wants to downsize, in 2008, she actually swapped houses with some other decorators. I believe they were decorators in the area. So they just switched houses. And then she continued on with her obsession with pine hollyhock in the charcoal as well in her new home. And it is so beautifully done. And she mixes, or Albert showed her how to do it, or he continued to do it, mixing the chintz with different prints and with animal prints. And it just looks so fantastic. And I was really interested to see that she also has I don't think it's real. Let's just hope it's not real, Nancy, but a zebra print rug on the floor mixed with this pine hollyhock in the charcoal. It's fantastic. Lots of white paint and black elements in the room. You know, it's a room, if you saw it, you would say Kelly would love that room, Anita. It's gorgeous. So it's a great article. There's really great photographs. You should take a look at it. Another thing about chintz, and maybe you know more about this than I do, Anita, with all your research, is that glazing that you see on it. So it kind of has a sheen to it often. Not all the time, but sometimes they have that. And I love that look. It kind of makes me think of, I don't know, Palm Beach or even Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard or something like that. It just has that very sort of traditional, if you will. I don't want to say preppy, but it definitely has that sort of Kennedy-esque feel to it, which can be really lovely. But don't be afraid to mix chintz with lots of other patterns, particularly if it's a big chintz. You're going to want to mix in a smaller pattern, a smaller print, and then definitely can mix it in with animal prints.
Yes. And the way I see it being used now is more as an accent, whereas before maybe all the curtains and the sofa and the chairs would all be done in perhaps a matching chintz. Now it's more like you would just use the pillows or just do the curtains. So I would say it's being used more judiciously than it used to. I still think it's beautiful, but it's just like we said, when things come back around, the way it's done changes. And so the updated version is to use less of it in a room, but it's still so beautiful.
Oh, yeah. And you'll see that if you go to this reference article about Nancy Pine's home. It was used everywhere when he was first working with her in 1962. It's the sofas. It is the draperies. It's the pillows. It's absolutely anywhere you could use fabric. It's in there. And then when she swapped homes and redid it and used it again in this home in 2008, it's just appears to be just on two sofas that are facing each other. And then the blacks and the whites and the golds are used throughout the room. So yeah, definitely it was maybe to someone's eyes now would be overdone, but that was also done a lot in the 80s. There was a lot of chintz in the 80s, and everything was sort of over the top then as well. So I think there's a place for
the
chintz.
Time of the big hair.
Yeah, big hair, lots of
big
chintz.
Shoulder pads.
Yeah, big flower prints. Make it big. Yeah, but there's a place for chintz anywhere. I think even if you're dealing with a lot of IKEA, you can work in some chintz. If you like florals, you can work some chintz in.
Oh, I think so. And it works very well with simpler fabrics too. A stripe or a check or a buffalo check. Also an animal print. I mean, it goes well with a lot of things. You just can't have too many different chintzes in the same room.
Oh, yeah. Don't want your chintzes fighting.
No, that's right.
Pick
and don't
one.
Be chintzy.
And don't be chintzy. That's the last word on it today.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us again today. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.